Thanks for staying tuned to your station, the AfricaTelevision, and welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa. On this channel and on this program, every week we'll bring you that information you need to keep your life safe and secured. Welcome to another edition. My name still remains Patrick Abambo. It's been a week of a lot of news. Many not so cheering news, because all over the world there is a alert over health issues all over the world. But before we go to what we have for the week, I want to draw the attention of all those concerned, security agencies, government authorities in Kogi State, concerning what is currently happening in Aku, in Ankpa local government in Kogi State. They say for the past 3 days, the community has been on fire over chieftaincy Torso. We wish that those concerned, the local government, the state government, the security agencies, and the community leaders should rally around and resolve this, because so many lives have been lost in that community. Later on, Security Watch Africa will be bringing you details on what is happening in that area. Yet, as part of our responsibility to alert our darling viewers about what to do in this, particularly this challenging time of threat to our health, Lassa fever and coronavirus. We're bringing you what we put together about information that you need to know how to prevent being a victim of Lassa fever. Sit back as we bring that to you now.
What is Lassa fever? Lassa fever is animal-human hemorrhagic disease. This disease has been in existence since 1950s. The virus first occurred in Nigeria in 1969 in the town of Lassa in Borno State. Lassa fever is relatively common in West Africa, including Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Ghana. Causes: it is caused by a virus carrying rodents known as multi-mammoth rat or Lassa rat. Lassa virus is a member of the arenavirus family of viruses. Humans get infected when they make contact with infected rats or eat food contaminated with urine, excreta of the rats. Signs and symptoms: once infected, victims present signs and symptoms within 1 to 3 weeks, ranging from slight fever, uneasiness, weakness, headache, swelling of face, vomiting, sore throat, bleeding in gums, eyes and nose, diarrhea, fatigue, low blood pressure, breathing difficulties, pain in the chest, back and abdomen. Prevention. Prevention of this disease generally relies on practicing good community hygiene, preventing rodents from entering homes, washing of hands with soap and running water, avoiding body contact with rats, keeping away food items from the reach of rats by proper storage, proper waste disposal to avoid attracting rats, isolation of suspected victims, proper sanitization and disinfection of equipment, educating people on the prevalence and risk of the disease. Cure. Although researches are underway to develop a vaccine for Lassa virus, however, ribavirin have been used effectively for the treatment of this fever if administered at the early stages of this infection. Shirley Daniels, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. We must be very cautious. Like it's obvious the causes and how we can prevent ourselves from being victims. So we call on everybody, the community, individuals, society, government, to ensure that we imbibe the safe character and hygiene, so that we can be safe from this Lassa fever that has affected so many communities in across the country in Nigeria. Yes. Well, let's go over to another of the virus that is affecting us again. And a lot of Nigerians have said that we hope and pray that it doesn't enter the country in Nigeria. That's talking about coronavirus. We also have this information for you.
What is coronavirus? Coronaviruses are a family of viruses known for containing strains that cause potentially deadly disease in mammals and birds. In humans, they are typically via airborne droplets of fluid produced by infected individuals. The novel coronavirus broke out from a wholesale market for animals in Wuhan, China. From this location, humans got infected. According to records, over 8,000 cases have been confirmed so far across 31 provinces in China. The World Health Organization have declared novel coronavirus as a global public health emergency due to its exportation to other countries of the world. Exportation of this disease have reached 20 other countries: China, Australia, Japan, Malaysia, Nepal, Singapore, South Korea, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Thailand, Canada, USA, Germany, and is fast spreading. Symptoms: this disease manifests in humans with sneezing, runny nose, sore throat, fever, shaking of hands, and high temperature. Most victims of the virus die of complications including pneumonia and swelling of the lungs. The virus causes swelling in the respiratory system, which can make it hard for the lungs to pass oxygen into the bloodstream, leading to organ failure and death. Severe pneumonia can kill people by causing them to drown in the flood flooding their lungs. Prevention: if you are mildly sick, you should drink plenty of water. Wash your hands often with soap and running water. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands. Avoiding the spread of coronavirus. Public health authorities provide travelers information to reduce the general risks via health practitioners, travel health clinics, travel agencies, conveyance operators, and at points of entry. Conduct exit screening at international airports and ports in the affected areas. Encourage screening at domestic airports, railway stations, and long-distance bus stations as necessary. Implement health information campaign at points of entry to raise awareness of reducing the general risk. Oris Adeoye, Security Watch Africa.
Welcome back. I believe that God Almighty, who is the provider of good health, will protect us all. But we as humans must do everything to ensure that we do not fall prey and become victims of this, both Lassa fever or coronavirus or whatever name it is called. This year, 2020, is not known for such. God will protect us while we also do our own part of being careful. Yes, we'll also bring you again what the Nigerian Army is doing to ensure that the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army are motivated to provide effective performance in terms of checking insurgency and terrorism and assistance in internal security. Sit back as we bring you this special report.
The Nigerian soldier, a walking machine dedicated to the protection of Nigeria's territorial integrity and support in internal security, has continued to put his life on the line just to ensure that every part of the country is safe and secured for citizens. Most often, the welfare, work environment, and total well-being of officers and soldiers, to say the least, are nondescript until the assumption of office of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, in June 2015. After assuming office as the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Buratai reviewed the state of security in Nigeria and the performance of his officers and soldiers, and concluded that their morale must be urgently lifted to restore the lost glory of an army that was once ranked as one of the best in the world. A new policy direction of improving the living and work environment if the same army was to bring about the needed change in the security architecture of the country. General Buratai, having served the country nationally and internationally, was determined, like a man on a mission, to rescue the Nigerian state from the hands of terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, armed robbers, and other forms of criminalities tormenting the country through the provision of improved and better conditions.
As a commissioned officer, and I've commanded strategic formations, and indeed at this national level, and having studied the prevailing security situation and our challenges, and I have been, at the place where the strategic decisions are taken. I felt, yes, I have to put all those challenges together to bring out my vision for the Nigerian Army, which is to have a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles.
This new policy direction from the helmsman of the Nigerian Army has charted a new course for the Army, aimed at correcting the lapses that has led to the low performances of officers and soldiers, especially as it relates to their welfare, availability of needed fighting machineries, and work environment. It is a fact that the better part of the life of an officer or soldier is mostly spent in his work environment, where he daily carries out the enormous task of protecting Nigeria and Nigerians. The state of infrastructures, where many life-saving decisions for many years have been in total state of neglect or either not available. This has greatly dampened the morale of officers and soldiers, thereby negatively impacting on their performance. These deliberate efforts of the Chief of Army Staff to motivate officers and soldiers by providing them with a state-of-the-art office accommodation, world-class fighting equipment, and a conducive temporary or permanent living accommodation with basic amenities has marked a turning point in the infrastructural setback the Nigerian Army was faced with. A tour of most of the Army divisions and formations brought to fore the urgent need to make the work environment of officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army more comfortable and serene.
If you work in a conducive environment, the best in you will come out. But if your workplace environment is hostile, definitely you may not, despite the fact that you are trained to be rugged. And when you are talking of brain work, working in offices has to do with brain tasks. So if you have a conducive environment, you are able to reason straight, you are able to turn out what is required of you in good time. You are able to respond. And no matter how beautiful the offices are only meant for planning, for coordination, and for support to the field.
The establishment of the Nigerian Army Cyber Warfare Command in October 2018 by the Chief of Army Staff stamped the resolve of the Nigerian Army to win the war on terrorism, insurgency, and other criminal activities by dominating the cyberspace. The Cyber Warfare Command, since its creation, has been a tool used by the Nigerian Army to monitor ongoing activities across the country, real-time, as they occur. It also played host to the Nigerian Army Situation Room for the 2019 general elections security monitoring. Barely 9 months after the official launch of the Cyber Warfare Command, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, has completed the accommodation quarters of personnel of the command at its newly designed headquarters in Giri in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The two buildings, which will serve as accommodation for personnel of the Nigerian Army Cyber Warfare Command, have been beautifully and tastefully furnished by the Chief of Army Staff to give officers and soldiers comfort even as they serve their fatherland. The Nigerian Army Corps of Military Police, an arm of the Nigerian Army, saddled with the responsibility of maintaining internal discipline within the Nigerian Army, have had its proposed headquarters complex abandoned for years now, but recently got the attention of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai, who directed for the remodeling and completion of the structures. The complex has a multi-purpose hall, canteen for staff, car park areas, motor transport section, military police SIB, and standard interrogation rooms, among others. This military police headquarters, when completed, will indeed stand as one of the best in Africa, a pride to the Nigerian Army.
This structure you are seeing right behind me is the proposed headquarters for Nigerian Army Corps of Military Police. It's located at Shehu Musa Radwa Barracks here in Abuja. Since the army headquarters moved from Lagos to Abuja in the early 90s, the military police has no permanent office headquarters. So the Chief of Army Staff, in his wisdom, decided to have a befitting structure for headquarters Nigerian Army Corps of Military Police.
The welfare and comfort of officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army is of topmost priority to the Chief of Army Staff as he pays unscheduled visits to different army divisions and formations to get first-hand information on how his men are faring. One of such visits, he was at 1 Brigade Garrison, Guzo, Zamfara State, where he directed the remodeling and rehabilitation of the barracks for his officers and soldiers, and that the barracks be connected to the national grid for the comfort of his men and their families.
When I first assumed command, in fact, all these blocks here were dilapidated. They were built over a long time by the defense headquarters, by the Minister of Defense, but over a long time, they became dilapidated because they were not occupied, and by the time we moved to this place was inhabitable for soldiers. But when the Chief of Staff came here, he's been here twice to show the importance he attached to troops' welfare. He came in here and saw the state of the barrack and quickly directed those concerned to get the barrack to this state. What you're seeing here is very pleasing to the eye, but it wasn't like this before. We thank God for the progress we have made so far, and we thank God for the inspiration of the leadership of the Chief of Army Staff to enable us to come this far.
This gesture by Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai has greatly boosted the morale of officers and soldiers of 1 Brigade Garrison, which has in turn helped to stabilize the security situation in Zamfara State and brought relief to the people of the state that were hitherto held captive by marauding bandits. A visit to the barracks at night will truly show the importance of electricity that was non-existent since the formation and operationalization of the brigade. The 8th Division, headquartered in Sokoto, covering northwest of Nigeria, was not left out in the developmental agenda of the Chief of Army Staff, as projects could be seen almost at all the formations visited. The headquarters, 26th Battalion, was renovated to enable officers and soldiers have a better working environment, aimed at boosting the morale of officers and soldiers in their national assignment of securing the nation.
So we are presently approaching 26th Battalion Arms Store, still courtesy of our Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai. As you can see, the building we are just about entering now is the old arms store of the battalion, with cracks all over because of probably the soil here and then the faulty foundation. You can see cracks all over, everywhere. So based on the intervention of the Chief of Army Staff, a new arms store is being constructed just directly behind, bigger and better constructed. And what we did behind there, we tried to use direct labor as well as the inputs of engineers. First, we started by having a ground beam as our foundation, put 4 courses, and then we now did another ground beam up to the level that you are seeing to your right there.
We are trying to see that the one we are building now will have some level of immunity on the earth movement to see how it can survive. This has been here time immemorial, since the beginning of this barracks. So that's why instead of doing any renovation, we say, look, there is no need to do any renovation. Let's just build another one and bring it down, since we have the resources.
The headquarters of 3 Division of the Nigerian Army in Jos, Plateau State, is one of the numerous beneficiaries of the innovative leadership style of the Chief of Army Staff. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai, in his determination to ensure comfort for officers and soldiers at the barracks, has graciously approved the rehabilitation of the dam at Maxwell Kobe Cantonment, Jos, Plateau State. This project is meant to solve the perennial water shortage that has bedeviled the cantonment and environs for so many years now, since the collapse of the dam decades ago. A visit to the dam site shows the enormous work that is ongoing to ensure the barracks and surrounding communities get portable drinking water.
The water supply from the water board is perennial. It's a kind of, they supply whenever. So, and that is the main reason why we have this water shortage in the barrack. It's like the Chief of Army Staff commissioning this edifice is like a waste because it's not fully utilized. And that is the reason for the dam. That is the reason for the dam. Because at the end, yes, we'll go to that. At the end of the day, the dam will be feeding these two tanks. And then that is about it.
On completion of the dam project, it is expected to provide 540 million cubic meters of water and a treatment plant to be connected to 33 kVA power supply and a standby 500 kVA generator to serve the water project.
For the treatment plant for this large dam is going to have 2 tanks. The raw water tank that will take water from the dam and get treated in a treatment plant, a complex treatment plant. Then after treated, it will now be, the water will now be conveyed into a clear water tank. Both tanks are concrete tanks, half submerged. Then after clearing, after treating that water and storing in the clear water tank, it will now be conveyed by pump, very strong pump, to those twin surface tank for use. And even right here in the treatment plant complex itself, we will still have overhead tank that can deliver water to anybody that goes in there to fetch water.
The dam is also expected to serve aquaculture and agricultural purposes. It is to be used to rear fishes of all kinds and provide water to farmers who are farming around the water project. The 34 Artillery Brigade in Obinze, Owerri, Imo State, has also felt this transformational agenda of the Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai-led Nigerian Army, as the barracks is wearing a better look as a result of remodeling and reconstruction works carried out on some of the housing accommodation of officers and soldiers by the Chief of Army Staff. Water problem of residents of the barracks has also been addressed, making life easier for families of soldiers.
If you came as of last year in this barrack, you look at that, you will say that is it human being that live here, but now we are all happy for the renovation you did for us. It's fine and we are enjoying it. Before we didn't have water, we look for where to get water, but okay. We so also thank the Chief of Army Staff and the GOC and the rest of the officers. We thank them. We say may God grant them the highest promotion.
The Goodluck Ebele Jonathan Barracks, housing the 14th Brigade in Ohafia, Abia State, since its creation, was faced with severe water shortage that has made life unbearable for residents of the barracks. But today, the soldiers and their families are singing a new song as they now have water to use any time of the day.
We are very thankful for our Chief of Army Staff. Ever since the water, normally we don't have water before, but since this year, things have been changed.
I thank the God because he's our maker, and secondly to the Chief of Army Staff. See, there is no rain. Sometimes we used to go to town to fetch water. In fact, we buy water from town. And at times we used to buy from tankers to come and give us water.
Now we can come out and get water sometimes without fighting. But like before, we can fight because of the water. But now, things are okay.
The life of a soldier today, no doubt, has greatly been impacted positively by the leadership style of the Chief of Army Staff, making the work environment better, giving officers and soldiers the needed human capital development to improve their output, ensuring that their homes and families have the needed social amenities. No wonder the great achievement that is being recorded by the Nigerian Army so far.
Welcome back. All over the Federation of Nigeria, indeed, there are projects being carried out to make the lives of officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army better. One package or even a whole year will not be enough to document what has been happening. We must say kudos to the leadership of the Nigerian Army and charge that this must continue, and other security agencies must, at the same time, take care of their personnel, because when personnel are well taken care of, then productivity is improved. We are getting signal to leave because other programs must continue. But if you have enjoyed watching this program today, please send us information, questions you need to get answers for, so that we can take it up with the authorities and bring the answers to you. We have given you the social media platform for you to communicate. Feel free and reach back to us. Until we come your way again next week, we'll say thanks for staying tuned and bye for now.